Hey all, Andrew here, making a quick video, first video of the just kind of chatting about some vinyl records, trying to not make it too stressful or high-browed. I just want to talk about 10 records that I got in the last year. Not necessarily records that came out in the last year, though some of them are. Just records that I am particularly excited about, that I acquired, that have entered my collection, that I felt motivated to do some more research into. So let's get into it. First record is by a little known producer by the name of George Duke. Just kidding, he's super famous. Brazilian Love Affair is the record title. George Duke, if you don't know him, is from San Rafael, Bay Area native. Trained jazz in the Bay Area and then went on to become an amazing R&B jazz fusion producer, amazing keyboardist, vocalist, worked with the likes of Herbie Hancock, Billy Cobham. Actually, I have this record that he did with Billy Cobham, which is not one of my 10 records I'm going to talk about today, but I love this cover because it's freaky and weird, and it's their live tour. And I got it for $6, which is really nice. 1976 there. So this record, 1979, Brazilian Love Affair, reminiscent of his time spent in Brazil, time well spent, I would say. I love this insert here, or I don't know if this is an insert, it's actually the sleeve for the record itself. And it's a beautiful record. Some of the, I think, songs that are worth noting here. The first song, Brazilian Love Affair, kind of same title as the record, is features some of George Duke's vocals. He's got a beautiful piano solo kind of on the way out of it. Definitely worth checking out. It's nice, long, epic, kind of giving you a sense of what the record itself is going to hold. A song I really love off this record that actually put me onto the record first is called A Love Reborn. It's a little later down. It features Roland Bautista on guitar. He's best known for his work with Earth, Wind, and Fire. And he just brings this like sultry, beautiful vibe that gets mixed in with some of the samba vibes on the song. And oh my god, just if you're going to check out any song, well, I don't know if I'll say that because the next song, Ao que vai nascer, sorry for my butchered Portuguese, features Brazilian vocalist Milton Nascimento, and wow, most beautiful song on this record, absolutely. Love Reborn and this song Ao que vai nascer, it's the last song on the record, and it's actually originally a song from Nascimento himself, and it's just so beautiful. It starts with this kind of a cappella, and like just operatic, almost like Brazilian. I have no idea what he's saying, to be honest, but it is beautiful. And then it has this like building jazz outro with the like just a fade out, and that's the record, and it's great. So enough about that. That's George Duke's A Brazilian Love Affair. On to the next. I want to talk about this very interesting album called Mandrill. I actually discovered this from just like a random YouTube video like this one, where they were just talking about some cool jazz fusion records that are maybe lesser known. And then like a week later, happened to run into it at my local record shop. Shout out the Next Record Store. Awesome record. First of all, cool album cover, cool name. The album itself is called Mandrill itself. It's their first release from the year 1971. The album itself, I'm sorry, the band is made up of the three Wilson brothers: Carlos Wilson on trombone, Lou Wilson on trumpet, and Rick Wilson on sax, along with some other great players, including someone on vibraphone, who I'm not sure who is. I love this. This is very interesting. This kind of Animorphs situation, pre-Animorphs though, because this is from 1971, Mandrill. And what is this album? You may be asking. Some vocal as well. Kind of classic black vinyl here. Some songs that are worth checking out: Symphonic Revolutions. Throughout the record, there are some great vibraphone situations going on. I love the vibraphone. I used to play. And then there's Peace and Love, with kind of parentheses Amani na Mapenzi, which is Swahili for peace and love. There are 5 movements of that piece, and it's on the side B, and it's incredible. The insert here says, "Ever since this world of ours began, man's been killing off his fellow man, cursing and swearing and threatening the other side, as he made flags and symbols, saying, 'Peace to all mankind.'" Ooh, good call out there. I like that. On to the next. So we're sticking with the jazz here. One of my absolute favorite artists, if you know me, you know, Snarky Puppy. This is the third record I have from them, but it's the first live record I have from them. And I'm not sure they have many live records out there. They probably do. But it's the first that I have. And I actually got this at Record Store Day in April. If you don't know what that is, it's a day where record stores around the country kind of all release specifically made Record Store Day records as a way to kind of encourage people to show up to record stores. They happen to do it on 420 this last year, and then they do it again on Black Friday. So it's 2 record store days every year. Love it. Great event. I'll be talking about some other record store days I got. So this one, Snarky Puppy, live at Band on the Wall. This was a performance in 2014 in Manchester at the Band on the Wall. And I knew I had to pick this up. First of all, because it's Snarky Puppy, but second of all, because it features one of my favorite songs from Snarky Puppy, and the first one I ever heard from them. The song is Flood. And first of all, look at this vinyl. I mean, that is just beautiful. I really like try very hard not to go for the colors and stuff like that. And then, you know, I've had some experiences where some of the colored ones don't sound as good as just the classic black. So I don't really care about that whole side of things. I'm more in it for the music itself. But that's just beautiful. That's undeniable. What was I going to say about this here? Oh, Flood. So this rendition of Flood, of course, Snarky Puppy, I should talk about them a little bit. They're a jazz fusion group. They're out of Texas. I believe they actually come out of University of North Texas. Shout out Brandon, University of North Texas. It is founded by Michael League. He is an incredible bassist and founded Snarky Puppy and plays with a host of other musicians who I won't name now, but who are all incredible. Some rotating people, but some regulars for sure. So this album itself and this performance features Robert Sput-Seawright on drums and Nate Worth on percussion, and they have a duet in Flood, getting back to Flood, which is incredible. I mean, it's just awesome. I found a YouTube video that some random person recorded. Incredible. The recording itself is super well done. And then there's Corey Henry on keys, just freaking awesome. And he does Sleeper, which is an awesome song by Snarky Puppy, and his solo in that is just... so good. Anyways, that's Snarky Puppy, live at Band on the Wall. Check it out. I don't think there's even a recording online of it. I was looking for it so that I could listen to it the other day, and it's not even there. So I have the record. I feel very lucky to have that. Okay, we're done with jazz. I want to talk about some rock. So this one is Mejor de Los Nuggetz. 60s Garage and Psych. I also got this one at Record Store Day in April, and when I was looking, so they released a list ahead of time, and I was just like kind of looking at all the different options, and I saw this, and I was like, Mejor de Los Nuggetz, like, is Los Nuggetz a band? No, it's not. So this is actually a shout out to a series, I learned this recently, a series that was released by Patti Smith guitarist Lenny Kaye called The Nuggetz, and it was back in the 70s. It was just like a compilation of like garage and psych like songs that were awesome. So this is kind of a call out to that, but it's specifically doing Mejor de Los Nuggetz, and it's 60s garage and psych. And first of all, look at that skull. I mean, that's just sick. And this is such a unique album. It's maybe one of the most unique albums I have. Check this out. Nice little hot magenta pink action there, and I mean, this is so cool. So it's all these like Latin American garage rock psych bands, and they're covering really big like European and American songs actually. So some of the notable ones is Todo Negro or Paint It Black. So it's a Spanish cover of Paint It Black, and it's by Los Salvajes from Barcelona. Excellent, just so good. I mean, they sound a little funny. And then you're like, oh, this is actually really good. it hits. Estas botas son para caminar. These boots are made for walking by Gloria Benavides from Chile. You Really Got Me. Los Matemáticos from Mexico. All these bands are from the 60s, 70s, and all these recordings are from the 60s and 70s. So it's a compilation of these random ones. Los Shines, maybe, is Peruvian psych rock band from the 60s. So just awesome, really fun. And now that I'm looking at this, they actually are featuring the album covers of a bunch of these bands down here. that I'm sure you can barely see. But it's such a fun compilation. And yeah, I mean, you can find like YouTube recordings of this album, and it's worth checking out. It's fun. It's super fun. Okay, going down to rock, a little more like, you know, I guess traditional rock, you could say, is Red Hot Chili Peppers. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Freaky Styley. This is their second album that ever came out, recorded in 1985, produced by, oh my gosh, what's his name? The whole reason, George Clinton. Produced by George Clinton of Funkadelic fame. You know, Red Hot Chili Peppers, they came up. Anthony Kiedis, I recently learned from listening to his audiobook, wasn't a singer, wasn't a musician, wasn't really an artist, but was really around a lot of music and used to MC for a lot of his like friends' bands in the LA scene. And finally, he was so good at emceeing, people enjoyed his presence on stage so much, he just said, you know what, let's like do something, let's perform. So he put together a group of friends, they performed, it kind of just happened, and then suddenly there was a band. And Red Hot Chili Peppers was not the original name, that is not the top of my head right now, but they eventually started playing. Flea on bass, originally a trumpet player, learned some bass, and is just one of the most incredible bass players I think playing in modern rock right now and contemporary rock. Brings funk like straight to the foreground. He has like a lot of interesting history. His audiobook is very interesting as well, called Acid for the Children. He talks a lot about the inspiration he has from his stepdad, who was a stand-up bass player and a jazz player, and you hear it. You hear it in the way Flea plays bass. It's all funk, it's all jazz, it's all coming through, and it like gets incorporated into the classic rock sound with Chad Smith on drums more recently. But on this record, it's Jack Irons, actually their childhood friends, and I should also say Hillel Novak, their childhood friend on guitar, who unfortunately passed away not too long after this record. So why am I talking about this record? Freaky Styley is so fun. I think it's like an era of Red Hot Chili Peppers before they become like super, like more polished, more clean, and still have that like grimy, dirty, kind of funky sound. And this record has some really fun songs on it. So one I want to talk about is Freaky Styley itself. It's just this like repetitive riff with just like and like, I mean, that kind of sounds like something else we're gonna talk about. But it's good. Just listen to it. There's a refrain that's repeated that I won't say here. That is just like it's hype. Lovin' and Touchin' is a 36-second song on this that I think perfectly illustrates like Red Hot Chili Peppers, like why they're so awesome. Besides all the funk rock stuff that I'm talking about, they also have this like sincere side, and they have this very Anthony Kiedis like clearly has like a romantic side to him, and it comes through in the song that is just like almost comically like a meme, but also like sincerely beautiful. And then Yertle the Turtle is, I think, the last song on this album, or one of the last ones. It's so funny. Look at the turtle go, bro. There's like a story in the audiobook where George Clinton's drug dealer, I guess, was like coming after him for a bunch of money. And like basically when he showed up, he was like, well, do you want to be in the song instead? Because I don't actually have any cash for you. So then they ended up recording him to do the vocal at the very beginning of that song. And it's just like a very funny song about a turtle, and probably not actually about a turtle. But yeah, anyways, that's Red Hot Chili Peppers, Freaky Styley. We are at almost 14 minutes, so I'm going to keep moving here because this is not a short video at this point. Rage Against the Machine. Live at the DNC, Democratic National Convention 2000. This is sick. I got this at Record Store Day, Black Friday, actually just last month, and just like a short little live performance that they did outside of the Democratic National Convention. Rage Against the Machine, if you don't know, they're out of Los Angeles as well. Zach De La Roche on vocals, bassist Tim Comerford, guitarist Tim Morella. Just sick. They were definitely one of the like instrumental rock bands for me coming up. Just in terms of like that protest energy, that like angry, loud rock energy, with the vocals that are just like freaking yelling into the wind. I love it. It's a clear record. Don't necessarily love that, but the sound is actually pretty great on it, so not going to complain. And it's sick. I mean, you can hear the crowd chanting, and like the story of this is that they actually were holding the Democratic National Convention in Los Angeles at the Staples Center at that time, and MTV was supposed to actually have like a voter motivation kind of music festival that they were gonna do, and then they got Rage Against the Machine or Rage to actually kind of headline it. And they had recently put out an album called The War of Los Angeles, or The Battle of Los Angeles. And the city of Los Angeles was like, no, that sounds sketchy. We're not going to do that. So they pulled the permits for the MTV Festival. And of course, Rage is like, well, we're going to play anyways. Fuck that. So they played. They played outside of the DNC, and it fucking rocks. And they play Bulls on Parade, they play Testify, they play Killing in the Name, and it's epic. And I love that fucking energy, like just going right up to them and yelling your shit. Music's powerful. I love that it's can be a tool for political activation and just getting that energy out there, trying to save our souls through all of this shit. So, big pivot here. We're going to go in a more electronic direction now, and that is Jamie XX In Color. This 2015 album, I think, speaks for itself. Super legendary. People know it very well. They love it. He's a British guy, I think, who first got really famous playing with the XX in like the 2000s, 2010s. Actually saw them at Bill Graham, which they were okay. Not super my vibe. I'm a little more indie, a little more soft tone. And that translates to Jamie XX's solo work. But he just goes in so many directions, and I love it. This album itself, really, I feel like it kind of sets the tone. I mean, he is clearly drawing on a lot of different inspiration from UK trance, garage, ambiance, and ultimately kind of creating his own tone, creating his own vibe. That just not every single song is like a bop and like something to listen to, but if you really take the time to like put on those headphones and give this album a listen, or even just like play it in a great room with a great sound system, not that my sound system is that great, you're gonna appreciate it. So a few songs I want to really highlight: Sleep Sounds, and then the song after that, Seesaw. They both provide a really beautiful kind of sleepy, trancey vibe. They're featuring vocalist Rami, who is best known from the XX as well. And it's gonna pull you in. You're gonna be vibing with it, and suddenly the song's gonna be over. You're not even gonna know what hit you. Loud Places. I mean, beautiful, legendary song. I mean, that song makes this album worth picking up on its own. People know it. If you hear it, it's gonna pull you in immediately. It's gonna take you straight to the dance floor. It's gonna give you the hit of dopamine that you are looking for, particularly on a cloudy, rainy day like today, where you might be listening to this album. And it's incredible. I mean, there's a vocal sampling from Idris Muhammad's Could Heaven Ever Be Like This? What is it? I feel music in your eyes. Oh my god, so good. Anyways, I love it. And then the rest is noise. It just like, it's one of the last songs on the album, I think. And it's a great ambiance track. It's actually called The Rest Is Noise. I'm not. And ultimately, what I wrote here is, let's see, a deep hidden garage groove that opens up a portal into another universe. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go with that. Great album, definitely worth listening to. He released In Waves this last year. Got to see him at Portola, and it was an awesome performance. So enough on Jamie XX. Wow, we're going big here. Alive, 2007, Daft Punk. Oh my god. If you don't know what this is, if you don't know who Daft Punk is, I mean, I don't know what to say. Daft Punk, incredible 90s, 2000s, 2010s, French EDM or maybe techno duo. They, in 1997, did their first live tour. They put out an album for that. 2007, they do this tour where they have this like pyramid. The video of that tour is, I credit as like my absolutely like foundational, inspirational, like electronic music piece of art. It is what got me in. I remember setting up my first computer when I was like 8 years old. I guess I couldn't have been 8 years old. I was probably like 12 or 13 years old. And immediately like went to YouTube and like old YouTube, searched it in and was like blasting it on my speakers and just watching that. Definitely did not get to see it live, unfortunately, and unfortunately Daft Punk broke up. Never got to see them live, but this is so cool. I actually got this pretty recently. It was a great deal. I think it was like $35, and I'm like, what's wrong with it? It has a few little skips in there, but double vinyl. Wow, am I really gonna take this out right now? It's so hard to get back in, but it's worth it for the video, for the viewers. I just want to show you this. Holy shit! So cool. This is a recording from their show when they were actually in Paris, at the Palais Omnisports de Paris. I just saying that. Notable songs, the whole thing. Just listen to the whole thing. I'm not even gonna go into it. Really, it's freaking awesome. Basically, their tour was unique and particularly special in the way that they took all of their previous work and just mix it all together. They really just create a whole set out of their own songs and fuse them together. Another artist that does that and is doing that now still is Justice, and I saw them this year, and that was awesome. And that's not what we're talking about right now, so we're gonna go on. Pivot again to hip hop, rap. Mac Miller, Faces. This is a 2014 released mixtape from Mac Miller. It was never officially released until recently, after he passed away. Rest in peace to Mac Miller, always. And this is an awesome mixtape. I really love it. This is a triple vinyl. Also got a really good deal on this. I would not normally go out for these like contemporary records that are going to cost a lot, but I was just so glad. Every single one is a different color. Again, don't care that much about the color, but it's cool if it's there. Blue, and then we got a little like green situation in this first one. Wow. What's in here? Let's pull this out. It's just a sleeve, but wow, look at that. So cool. Such an aesthetic. There is definitely, and this is a little insert that was in here. And again, rest in peace, Mac Miller. Incredible artist. We got some lyrics. You know, people are gonna talk about Mac Miller's music. They're gonna, you know, from the outside looking in, mostly focusing on kind of the more, a little bit like down, depressing vibes, a little bit like solemn, thinking about his struggles with addiction, his struggles with relationships. To me, like when I listen to Mac Miller, I hear that, it's there. Obviously, it's instrumental in his story, in his vibe, and there is so much more. There is hope, there is love, there is just incredible aspiration and hardworking like nature. There is like authenticity and just like speaking truth to power and speaking truth to his circumstances and the people around him that he's facing. This mixtape itself, it features some awesome other artists: Earl Sweatshirt, Thundercat, Schoolboy Q, Vince Staples. Some notable tracks that I want to shout out: Therapy. He says, "How's it feel? How's it feel to come and hang around a motherfucker like me?" Which I love, and I can't really get. Polo Jeans, featuring Earl Sweatshirt. Colors and Shapes is the vibe. It's beautiful. They released a video of it pretty recently, kind of with some beautiful animation that matches the vibe of this album. Rain, featuring Vince Staples. And lastly, Yeah. He says, "Am I alive? Am I aware? Are we prepared for the day that will die?" In that song, and it's beautiful. Really hitting. I love Mac Miller. This is a great mixtape. Was really glad to pick that up. A great deal. Okay, last record. This is just a fun one. This is cool. We're gonna go back. 2020. I'm at my friend Mars' apartment, and we watched a little Netflix short film that was released, part of a series called Lovers Rock. Don't remember the director right now. It's incredible. It's featuring, or it's focusing in on this little community within England of Jamaican immigrants, kind of reviving, creating their own vibe. And that vibe is dub. That vibe is reggae. That vibe is love. And kind of coming together and expressing it and dancing and just vibing. And that vibe from that put me onto this, which is Channel 1 drum sounds from the Revolutionaries. This is a little compilation that they released. So the Revolutionaries, I came to learn, were actually kind of the backing band for this radio station / like production group at Channel 1 radio. So some interesting history that I learned. The band is made up of Sly Dunbar, on drums, Bertram, Ranchi, McLean on bass. They are throwing it down on these tracks. The Channel 1, interestingly, was founded by Joseph Hu Kim, also known as JoJo, who was the son of Chinese immigrants in Jamaica, and created this production group that created a bunch of dub and reggae music. He was one of the first people to take dub music and actually like mix it and making it to reggae and kind of bring in other vibes, some vocals. This is awesome. If you want double vinyl, if you want just, I mean, I don't know where you can even find this. I got it out of Econo Jam Records. Shout out them in Oakland for, again, a really reasonable deal. And it's sick. There's probably so much cool historical information on here that I should probably read. But, oh yeah, there's Sly Dunbar. They're mentioned in Revolutionaries. JoJo gave the freedom to create. I'd sit for hours with Ernest getting the drum sounds right. They were really into it. They left me free to play what I wanted. Ernest would often spend the whole day just tuning the drums with Sly, perfecting the Channel 1 sound. And it comes through. These are just dub like vibes all day, and I love it. Kunta Kinte Dub is the original song that is featured in Lovers Rock, that short film that I loved, and it just like, drilled itself so deep into my head. I found like a YouTube recording of it, and this record, the cover of this record was in my head, and then I just happened to see it for sale, and I had to pick it up. So, that's 10 records, 10 vinyls. Wow, long video. Really just like had an incredible time collecting records this year. Had such fun digging into like new genres, getting really into jazz fusion, something that I've always loved since I was playing jazz myself, and particularly digging into the history, and ultimately just picking up a little of a lot. And just having a great time with it, listening to music, sharing music. So I want to say thank you for listening if you made it to this point. I hope you enjoyed my kind of history telling, a little bit of my explanation of my vinyl, of the diversity of the taste that was expressed here. And please feel free to share with me and with anybody else looking at this what some of your final favorite records were of this year, or favorite albums that you got into this year. Anyways, peace, take care, till next time.